Be right back. Good everyone. Good to see you coming in. Always enjoying when I see y'all coming in. Good evening to everyone. Elder Palmer, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Voice of Vision Church of God in Christ. Good evening to JJ Woodson. Good evening. JCSR Thompson. Friday night church. It's a Friday night, right? Roger Thomas, good to see you tonight, sir. Thank you for coming in. Sunday is in from Memphis, Tennessee. Our headquarters church is located in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you for coming in. Always glad to see you all come in. Faithful Wisdom, good to see you. Thank you for your prayers. Good evening, Sister Tina. Always glad to see you. If at some point in time during the show, you feel compelled to, thinking that robbery to support the platform with either $3, $7, $15, $25 or more gift. I want to thank you. Already received a couple of gifts in the $25 and $50 range. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. But if that's not your level and you feel it not a robbery to support, we thank you in advance for your support. Sister Gail will not be here tonight, so we've already hit the number that I'm always looking for in that corner to get started. So we are going to get started. Oh, great, new member. Thank you so much. We do have an ability for you to subscribe to the show as well, and we're going to be busting that out later on this year in the second quarter of the year. We have some great things for members, for those who are signed up with memberships. Bless you, Dr. Taylor. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming in. I promise I'm not going to be before you long. Y'all know I generally get straight to the business. So we got a couple of things to talk about tonight. We got a couple of things to talk about. Two things I don't want to talk about. But since he, feels the need to keep talking about what's happening in the church, I feel the need to keep talking about him. Wendy Love, good to see you. Thank you so much. Good to see you tonight. So we're gonna talk about it. But the first thing I want to do is I got two things. I gotta say something good and I gotta say something bad about the presiding bishop. And I don't want to say it's bad. It's not really bad. It's confusing, but it's not really, really bad. I was on an invited call with Reverend Al Sharpton a couple of days ago. I want to say maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember the date. I had to look at my email. But was on. He was giving some good information. And can you turn on your hype the video? How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. If you tell me how to do it, I'll do it. Thank you, Earl, for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you. Blessings to you. Quan Colin, good to see you tonight. Thank you so much. If y'all tell me how to do it, I'll do it. I don't know how to do that, but either tell me or send an email to the platform, and the team will take care of it. HeShowComments@gmail.com, and they will take care of it. Brother Will Cox, man, good to see you tonight from New Jersey, up in the north. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming in. So I was on call on this call with Reverend Al Sharpton and um, several other people. I think it was about 130 people on the call, and uh, presiding bishop J. Drew Sheard was also been invited on this call, and he showed up. And I thought that was very good of him to show up. They were very, very honored to have. I want y'all to know that they were very honored to have our presiding bishop show up. They did end up asking him to have words and to pray the benediction prayer of blessing. And so I was very glad to see the presiding bishop show up because the conversation was necessary, and I was glad that he was there to represent the Church of God in Christ. Always, always good to see him in places I think he ought to be. So that's the positive. That's the positive. Now, the negative is, can anybody tell me why Bishop Sheard was the only general board member who was not in Los Angeles on Wednesday? The call must have been, that's right, the call was Monday because I was supposed to be flying out to LA on Tuesday and missed that. And so I was not there on Wednesday. That's the question I'm getting ready to ask, Carl. Why was he not at Lawrence? Can anybody tell me? I don't know. I haven't made any phone calls to find out. I'm just curious as to why he was the only general board member who was not there. As good as you did something on Monday, I'm confused by that. And the fact that you had time to make a video. How is it you had time to not only make it, I mean, you produced a whole production of video. I'm confused why you would not. Tennessee, Memphis is in the building. Good to see you, Sister Barnes. Good to see you. I'm confused as to why you could not make it. Does anybody know what he was doing? I'm just curious. And a lot of people watch this platform. By the way, let me say this to you all who are watching. Pay very little attention to the number in the corner. Let me say, Bishop Wooten, I'm gonna give a pass. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna give him a pass in just 1 second. Previous urgent engagement. Good to see you, Sister Collie. Good to see you tonight. They said he had a previous urgent engagement that he had to be at. Urgent. Bishop Wooten was not there. But Bishop Wooten is of a certain age, and at a certain age, number one, flying is not really an option. And number two, riding in a car from St. Louis to LA, not gonna happen. But the urgent engagement wasn't urgent enough for your wife to not be there. Hey, Sister Priscilla, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. I'm a little tired in my body, but we're doing all right. And when I get off of here, I got a 3-hour trip to make. So y'all pray for me tonight. Y'all pray for your boy. But I'm curious. Like, I'm just like, you had time to make the video. You had time to produce a video. Your wife was there. Not really sure how urgent this was. And then again, I'm also slightly confused because I haven't seen Bishop Sheard and Bishop Blake in the same. Maybe he's still doing. Maybe so. I don't know. JC say maybe he's still dealing with legal issues. I don't know. That's a great question. Quan, was it because Bishop Blake didn't go to his father's funeral? I don't know. That's a great question. I didn't think about that, though. I did not think about that. I didn't think about that. Oh, Sister Bonds, who is from Memphis, says that wasn't a new video. He just added on to it. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good evening, New York is in the building. Sister X7 is in the building. Is that the BMW X7? I'm just curious. I think that's what that is. Being that you're from New York, I'm sure that's what that is. I'd be shocked. Yeah, that was a little curious to me. I have not seen them. I know he went in Tyler, Texas is in the building. Good evening. What is Bishop Timmons' thing is coming up, right? Is that this week? Is Bishop Timmons' thing coming up this week? Why do I feel like that's this week? Okay. Bishop Sheard was out and about the same day. All right, well, that's enough said then. He just didn't want to go. I guess he just didn't want to go. I have to assume he didn't want to go. Because I assume he could have, I mean, if his wife was there, I assume he could have. March 13th. Okay. Why was I thinking February 13th? I don't know why I was thinking that. I thought I'd missed it today. I'm going to put that in my calendar. Oh, okay. Okay, so they just played the same. Yeah, I sort of. You know what? See, y'all so smart. Y'all the smartest audience on YouTube. Because I did see that, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Wow. Okay, so that was the video that he posted after he died, and then they added on to. Oh, wow. Also, he did the same thing that Dr. Byron Williams did, right? He edited, just added some stuff later on. Wow. 2024? Yeah, I don't, where were they at in 2024? I know he went to West Angeles in 2023. He went to West Angeles in 2023 to preach. Yeah, I didn't remember something in 2024, but maybe he did. Maybe that was the second time. It was business as well. Okay. Well, that's wow. Okay. Wow. I'm just curious. I'm not even really trying to start nothing tonight about it, but I'm super curious as a member why every general board member was there except for him. And his wife was there. And the national supervisor was there. And this is somebody that you know and have. I'm just a little curious. I never thought about it. Hey, Marco, good to see you tonight, man. Have you ever thought Bishop Blake requested he doesn't attend? Never thought about it, but that could be possible. It was somebody's funeral the last time. Well, yeah, I don't. Okay, well, I guess we were all thinking it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We were all thinking it. I'm just since we're talking and it's a family conversation. That's what we do. I'm just trying to see if anybody else in the family was thinking the same thing I was thinking, which is where were you at, Bishop? Like, not that you have to do it. I mean, I get it. Well, you know what? Maybe he was under the weather. I don't know, because they're saying that he was out and about doing what he normally does in Detroit on any other given Wednesday. So I guess he wasn't, that under the weather. Yeah, man, I don't know why he wouldn't want him to attend either. I don't know. This just seems really Quan said Bishop Blake is actually sick. I agree. Like, he's not getting any younger and he's not getting any better. But he ain't dead. Oh, was Bishop? I didn't think Bishop Blake was at that rally in California because it was in Northern California, and I don't remember him. I don't remember Bishop Blake being there because they didn't have it in Southern California. We had it in Northern California. That's why I didn't remember. I don't think I saw him in 2024 at that thing. Um, but I could be wrong. Maybe they had two. I know they had the one in Northern California. I didn't know they had one in Southern because the fires were in Northern California. So I wasn't really sure. Um, so I thought, ICH said, I thought I saw him with something in the meeting with politicians. Okay, Faithful, I'm gonna take. Oh, they have one in LA too. Okay, all right, Uncle Real, I got you. I didn't know. I didn't know. It must didn't uh, hit me. I didn't know. I did know about the one. So if he was there for that, that may have been the second. That's probably only the second time they've been in the same room since he became presiding bishop. A little odd, a little strange. Just a little odd, just a little strange. Um, Look, I'm getting, y'all be on top of it. But watch this because make no mistake, um, Bishop Blake is certainly not out of energy. Um, okay, he spoke at the Super Bowl. Okay, gospel thing. Yeah, Bishop Wooten was not there. But again, y'all got to remember Bishop Wooten is number one, not in the best health. Number two, he's an older guy, and sometimes, and I'm not really sure what's going on up here, but there are sometimes when you are where your doctor will not allow you to fly, and I certainly know that he wasn't going to take no car from St. Louis to LA. That wasn't going to happen. So this actually happened just the other day. This is the NBA, and they honored Bishop Blake.
Was live, shaping communities and influencing culture in ways that defy conventional ways. Bishop Blake's influence extends far beyond the ordinary scope. His profound impact on faith, community, and culture is a testament of divine calling met with unwavering dedication. A sheer scale of his global reach and depth of his local engagement demonstrates a spiritual and social architect whose contributions are simply too vast for traditional titles. He didn't just lead, he transformed. He didn't just inspire, he empowered generations. His legacy is not merely etched in stone, it's alive in the institutions he built, the leaders he's mentored, and the countless lives he transformed. He established a model of holistic ministry that cares for the soul, mind, and body, leaving behind a blueprint of future generations of faith and community leaders. Bishop Blake held that true ministry must address both the spiritual and practical needs of humanitarian, extending compassion and resources beyond the pulpit. He envisioned the church as a dynamic catalyst for comprehensive community change, actively work to uplift, empower, and transform lives from every angle. This unwavering commitment initiated a multitude of initiatives aimed at fostering well-being, opportunity, and justice for all. Indeed, legend merely scratches the surface. Bishop Charles E. Blake Sr. is a spiritual type whose enduring impact resonates across the globe. And through the ages, his life is a testament of one individual's holy devotion to a higher calling can achieve, a truly irreplaceable mark on the tapestry of humanity. Our 2026 Slam Dunk Living Legend Award recipient, Bishop Charles E. Blake Sr.
Come on, you guys. Now listen, as he makes his way, we want to make sure that we give our hearts and our prayers to the son that transitioned to glory, Pastor Lawrence Blake. So on behalf of All Star Gospel Celebration, we come to you, Bishop Blake, and the Blake family. Please put your hands together, Los Angeles. Come on. Take your time, sir. Come on, you guys, put your hands together for Bishop Charles, the overseer of West Angeles Church of God in Christ.
Take them to the light so they can see. To the light. And then start right there.
Keep the music on.
Keep the
God
music.
bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless the whole entire Blake family. Amen. So very soon.
I've got to bless this evening. Wonderful privilege to be here on tonight. I'd like to dedicate this moment to my dear son, Barry Blake. Barry on yesterday. He's a wonderful young minister of God. God used him for great things. Now he's in heaven. Look at your neighbor and say he's in heaven now.
He's in heaven now.
Thank you for the award. I appreciate being a part of the life of the church here in the city of Los Angeles. I'd just like to say to you, I see you in the future.
Yes, sir.
And you look much better than you look right now. You put your name in here, I see you in the future. And you look much better than you do right now. Look at Abraham. Thank you so very much.
My God, today he's about to turn this church out already. Amen. Listen.
So that was actually it was actually the day after. Um, that was the day after they buried Lawrence. Very strong. Um, and so, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Brandon, yeah, you can always send send a donation in, and we'll take care of you. I'll make sure to take care of you. No problem. But yeah, so Bishop Blake is super. You know, he's just big. You know, he said he sounds strong. I think he's as strong as he can be. Here's the thing. You know, he just has Parkinson's, and so I mean, not that that's not something that he's dealing with, but I mean, it's it can be a debilitating thing, but it's. I mean, Michael J. Fox has been dealing with Parkinson's for 40 years. I mean, it's not dementia, it's not Alzheimer's. He has Parkinson's, and so just as we saw with Muhammad Ali and others, Jesse Jackson. It just wears heavy on the body and causes the body to do certain things. But we are very, very glad to see that. Do I miss his administration? No. I don't miss Bishop Blake's administration because I think a lot of things that he did facilitated a lot of things that are happening today. Bishop Blake was one of my administrative idols, and just he's one of the reasons I spent time learning our Constitution, learning our church, and the polity of our church. But I think there were times when he overstepped the authority, and he knew it, and he did it because he could. But the precedent that it set was not good for the church. And it was a mixed bag for me. It was a mixed bag for me with Bishop Blake. One was personal, and so there's a lot of honor and respect there from a personal family perspective. The other was administratively and kind of what he did, and I just I wish that he hadn't done something. Same with with Bishop Thurston. Same thing. I grew up thinking, as a teenager, I thought he was one of the coolest guys ever. He was like the Sammy D. Williams of of the Church of God of Christ. But I mean, Billy D. Williams. I said Sammy. I was mixing Sammy Davis and Billy D. But he was like the Billy D. Williams of the Church of God of Christ. And to see where he is now is just it's a shame, because these were really pioneers and guys who understood how this church functions and what made it a great church. I mean, Bishop Blake's first time you ever saw a general board member go into court against a presiding bishop to fight for the Constitution. So a lot of people, when they see this platform, they think, man, Jordan fights church. I don't. It's one of the greatest leaders in this church, Bishop G. Patterson, Bishop Charles Edward Blake. Some of the greatest leaders in this church were just like me. And that's where I learned it from. It's not about fighting against people as much as it is fighting for the Constitution and what makes this church one of the greatest in terms of structure that there is in the world, period. So to see some of those things, Bob, no, I don't miss it for that reason. Probably the last 5-6 years. I was very, very optimistic about Bishop Blake in 2007. I thought he was what the church needed, and thought he would bring a lot of innovation. Yeah, apparently, because apparently he was with a he was with a politician there in Detroit. So there's the answer to our question. He was campaigning. All right, that's what the presiding bishop was on Wednesday. He was campaigning. Very urgent. It was very urgent that he was there to campaign. Yeah, I agree. I've said on this platform, and I don't bag up from it, they did not do Dr. Earl Carter right. They didn't process him constitutionally, and they still never have. They still never have. It is so, St. James. What's going on, St. James? Good to see you tonight, man. That is so. So you can break it all over the world now. You can break it all over the world now. St. James gonna break it all over the world. Yeah, that's where he was. I don't know what's like I said, I don't know what's going on there, but maybe I'm missing something. Bishop could have made it. The presiding bishop of the Church of God of Christ can make it anywhere he chooses to make it. Trust me on that one. Absolutely, my apostolic cousin in the building. You are absolutely. They absolutely followed Bishop Daniels. That was it was a move that I don't think was the best move for the church, but it is what it is. We still honor and respect and love Bishop Cedric Daniels and his entire family, who I make no bones about. I absolutely love. Hold on. I haven't seen the email. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up now. Let's see. Oh, well, there it is. Let's see how I can. Wait a minute. And then, oh, God. Jesus. Bishop, tell me it ain't so. Tell me it ain't so, Bishop. Just tell me it ain't so. Bishop got to be joking me. This ain't what you were doing, Bishop. Tell me it's not. I'm trying to see if I can see. What did I do? Let's see. Here it is. Wow. Well, Bishop, your people posted it, so you want to know where he was? That's where he was. Wow. What? Why would you let somebody? Who are your advisors? Why would you let somebody post this? Just that fast. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, by the way. What? Okay. Well, all right. Well, now we know. Good evening, Holly Favor Smith. Good, always good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Now we know. Now we know, St. James. We know what's well. God bless you, Bishop. I I I mean, I'm not really sure. What was it feel like? 1 o'clock in Detroit time, so it's 11 o'clock. I think you could have. I mean, it was a 5-hour funeral. I think you probably could have. Probably could have got a plane. Probably could have came in. Wow. All right, Bishop. Well, yeah, he trying to get. I guess. I mean, I get it. I get it. But that, Sister Priscilla, that is my number one question. Who are his advisors? Bishop, would somebody tag him? Just anybody. Bishop, you need, just clip this part and send it to him. You need better advisors. Your advisors. I know who's advising you. You know what? I don't even know if he listens to his advisor. I have to assume he's got at least one person. I got to assume at least his wife said, honey, that's not really a good look. Y'all got to leave. Either might be giving him some good advice. I don't, it is. It's funny and it's petty, but it's curious. It is curious when you are the leader of the organization. Some things as the leader of the organization, I know people want to think like, Joe, why you even bring, because some things as the leader, you got to remember, this is a family conversation. So everybody in the family thinking it. So, I just happen to be the person that says it. I've been asking the same question for 5 years. You know what? You're right. I think it's almost at that point where he's just doing whatever he want to do. Let's do a heat poll on recommended. Okay, all right. I tell you what, I got you. Sunday, I'm popping up with a poll, and we're going to say who are your top 5 recommended advisors for Presiding Bishop, because you need somebody. He needs somebody with social media skills. He needs somebody for political. He needs somebody certainly for church politics, constitution. Like, he needs some better. And that ain't scared of him. Like, he's got people around him. But I told y'all, literally, when General Counsel of the Church of God in Christ told me he's scared to tell him the truth, Bishop, you got to get some people around you who are not scared to tell you, no, don't do that. You don't do that. Whatever, you don't do that. You need some people like that. Somebody that will sit around you and tell you, you are just a man. You're just a man. Been going on since the LDS, absolutely. Been going on since the LDS. Jay Tudor, good to see you, man. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming in. Always glad to see you. Oh, okay, I missed that part. I missed the hood part. Let me say this though too, because I told you I was going to introduce a new thing where I was going to share with y'all some people that I thought y'all should definitely check out. One is a shout out to my guy. I'm not going to play his because he just put this on an actual recording, and I'm super excited for him. But I want to give a shout out to my guy Travis Malloy. Got one of my favorite songs of last year. It was just an impromptu thing that he's now recorded.
You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you.
Let's put some harmony. Let's make it sound like 1995. Real pretty. Let's show you are.
You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands. I lift my hands. Say, I lift my voice. I lift my voice. I lift my voice. Say, I lift my life. I lift my life. Watch this. Say this. Say, love of my life. Say, love of my life. Stay right there. Love of my life.
All right. So that is Travis Malloy. He's got a new project out. Travis Malloy and it's called The Collective, the Urban Worship Collective. And super proud of him, super proud of that guy. He's from Atlanta and amazing gospel producer. He's doing a lot of stuff with Kim Burrell right now. But if you get a chance, go check him out. Not sponsored, not taking anything from him. I'm just sharing with y'all people that I think are worth y'all checking out. It was not me singing, Sis Bonds. Not on there. That was not me. But let's see. What do we say? We love Bishop Blake. Freedom is on the chain. Monty J. All right, I love Bishop Blake too. I love Bishop Blake too. Don't get it twisted. I have no problem with Bishop Blake. That was quick as the estate settled and ensuing licensing. Just asking, Felix, what are we talking about? Tell me what are we talking about? Jay Tudor said Bishop Blake didn't go to Bishop Sheard's father or his mother's funeral, so now they. Okay, is we just being petty today? Is that what you meant? He did. He kept order. Thanks, Blake's. Bishop Blake. Man, Travis's range is incredible. He is a throwback. He was a nice producer in the '90s. As you can tell, he's kind of got that vibe. But he's doing really good things in gospel music right now. So I'm very proud of him. He kept order. That's an interesting way to view it. I'll say that it is not. And by the way, thanks. Shout out to Brother Steve Harris, my big brother and friend, who had that video of Bishop Blake at the NBA celebration thing. So shout out to him. I'm gonna let that be where that is, because I like I said, I think Bishop Blake did a lot of great things, but he did things that were outside the four corners of the Constitution, and so. But overall, I think he was a good presiding bishop. The move to St. Louis was not, I don't think, was a good move, but it happened and it did what it did. So, I mean, it depends on who you're talking to. I guess that ultimately that's what it is. It depends on who you're talking to. Yeah, it just Jay. I guess it depends on who you're talking to. That's the best way I can say that. But I don't say that to say anything negative about him. I'm very neutral when it comes to the Constitution of the Church and how things should operate. So, order and fear can often look the same. So let's see. Okay, all right, y'all. We're gonna get into what I don't want to get into because two things. Well, he posted them, so I mean, I guess he wanted us to talk about it. Two things. Okay, I'll talk about what he talked about in the church. Then I'll talk about what he talked about outside the church. All right, let's go. Look, y'all, I'm tired of talking about him too, but he keep doing stuff. So,
you sowing this seed just shifted your tax bracket. You believe God can speak to me? What is your biggest debt? Write that check, sow it into the church. That means everybody get an offering. Hurry! Can you make sure they got some hot sauce back there? Please don't make me call you out. But I will.
So you're gonna call the people out? Call me out and do what? Are you gonna spank me? Are you gonna whoop me because I won't come up off $1,000? Is that what we're doing now? Because if you don't do it right now, you got to do it right now. And if you don't do it right now, you won't get this opportunity again for 7 years. 7 years. I mean, who makes this stuff up? Where does this come from? That's not biblical. That's
okay. Hey, Bishop Ray, good to see you tonight, man. Always good to see you. Couple things. If you don't know, if you don't know who that is If you don't know who that is Prophet Marcus Thomas, who is often at general board members' churches. He would be the new, younger version of Ty Hall, basically. He's the same. They're the same in the same circles. And if you don't know, the church that he is at is the jurisdictional headquarters church for Bishop Brandon B. Porter, the secretary of the General Board of Church of Christ. He went there after preaching for Bishop Porter to that church. If you look closely, you will see some national leaders who are at that church. And he's going to tell us what he thinks about what's happening.
It's not faith. That's fear marketing. And Jesus warned us about this.
Planning to publish your book? You could reach 3 billion more readers if you've written a book.
Take a look at this mess.
I want you to give God right now the biggest seed you've ever given God. I don't beg. I don't do any of that. Nobody's manipulating you. It's 5 of you that need to release a seed offering of $1,000. You won't get this chance again for the next 7 years.
Hold it right there. It's 5 of you that need to release a seed offering of $1,000. 5 times $1,000 is $5,000. So I at least need to get me $5,000 off of these Negroes because I got to get my money. Money funny, change strange, you know. I got to get at least, I got to size them up. You know, this is, I guess this is what happens in the minds of these prophets, Profit. Got to size up the congregation. Yeah, he's wearing Louis Vuitton, a little Gucci over there. I ain't gonna ask her for no money. Nah, that looks like a fake purse. And so you got to come up with an amount. I need 5 of y'all to do this. My question is, why not 7? Why not 10? Why not 20? What about 1? Why not just say, hey, can I get one person to give me $5,000 so I can save the remaining 4 people? $4,000. I mean, this is insane, man. This is not biblical. It's insane. Watch.
Some of y'all in here already.
So, I don't know why that made me laugh so good. In a church God's praise, you have the opportunity at least 100 times to give $1,000 and say, you sure? You're going to get another opportunity at the convocation, at the leadership conference, the women's convention. You're going to get plenty of no, Sister Dunford, this is not required for the presiding bishop to attend the superintendent general. Bishop Jones also talked about, I'm not going to tell you who he was talking about. I do know who he was talking about, that came to his church, I think when he was in Texas, and raised $12,000. But I think he had a context to it. I do believe he had a context to it. I did watch it. I do know the context that Bishop Jones was saying was in the context of the fact that Bishop Jones was saying that all of the people who gave $1,000, number one, all the checks bounced. And he assessed that when they were trying to figure out, well, what is it that we need to do to collect this money? Do we turn it to money collectors? He said, no, I didn't want them to do that, because the reality was that if they gave the money and the money wasn't there, they gave it on false pretenses. And I'm the one that let the person come in the house and raise that kind of money. And I didn't discern that they was out of pocket and wasn't in God, and neither did the people. So I'm gonna just eat that when he ate the $12,000. I think that was the point that Bishop Jones was making. I only bring this out because, to be quite honest with you, I gotta just know. I'm gonna tie this into why I did this, why I just showed you what I showed you. Because there's a reason. There's something that he said that made me also today. That made me curious. So let me show you. And it made me question, does he just not like the Church of God in Christ? Does he not agree with it? Which is quite possible. Yeah, all the checks bounced. Bishop Jones said all 12 people that wrote the $1,000 check, every check bounced. But they'd already given the 50% to the prophetess who came in and raised the money. And he didn't want to ask her for the money back, so he just ate it all. I think I already answered that, but I'll answer it again. No, it is not required for the presiding bishop to attend the superintendent's show. Bishop Jones is looking a little long in the tooth these days. Bishop Sheard, we have ascertained, was at a political thing for somebody in Detroit. That's why he was not at FEMA. He was at, I think I posted the picture. Did I not post the picture? I think I posted the picture. That's where he was. Yeah, he was at a political thing with, I think, the secretary or something. Somebody running for governor of Michigan, because the current governor of Michigan is term limited, I believe. And so that's where he was. And no, he is not obligated by Constitution to be at any superintendent's funeral, but I don't think that we can just categorize Lawrence Champ Blake as just any superintendent. Based primarily on the fact that every single general board member of the Church of God in Christ, and every leader, including the chairman of the General Assembly and the chairman of the Pastors and Elders, every national leader, this was a national, Lawrence was a national leader within the adjutancy as well. He was not just he might have only been a superintendent in his jurisdiction, but he was on the national stage. There are many, many people who are on the national stage who are not just whatever they are in their jurisdiction. That's just the way that goes. So I think it was, I don't think he's just a superintendent. The problem is the optics of it, that everyone is there from leadership, including the supervisor. When every national leader, the chairman of the trustee board, everybody who is a national leader in the Church of God in Christ were there. That's the bottom line, and I agree. Again, many pastors within the church feel that same way. It's a matter of respect. It's not just he wasn't, and there's no diss at Charles Jr. So don't nobody from West Chancellors hit me up. But Charles Jr. ain't the same as Lawrence in the national church. Right, so there's a reason for I think people would have still showed up if it was Charles Sheard. I do, because it's Bishop Blake's son and he's pastor of Los Angeles. So I think people still would have showed up. But yeah, even Stevie Wonder was there, of course. You know, I mean, it's just a bad look. It's just not a just wasn't the most wise thing that he could do. But anyway, so again, somebody tag Bishop Sheard because I got a question for him in just 1 second. I got a question for you, Bishop. Just 1 second. Okay, y'all just got to tolerate this because I had to tolerate it, so y'all got to tolerate it. Here we go.
1 second clip of a Lion King parody video that was inadvertently and mistakenly included in a video that President Trump's team put out about voter fraud. Those same people who were upset about that and bent out of shape and thought that he should apologize and even resign, they are co-signing the notion that, you know, the same people who were once demonized as being apes, baboons, and monkeys, not orange orangutans like they called, you know, Trump. But yeah, these same people are now saying nothing about the insidious claim that Black people are too dumb to get a voter ID. Now, how do you do that in less than the span of 1 week? How? Somebody say something to me. Is this thing on? Don't hang up. We're on long distance. How do you do that? With a straight face. Oh, you've been out of shape over the video clip, the 1 second video clip. Oh my gosh, we've got to write a letter. We got to speak up. We got to make sure that people know what we think. I got to protect our denomination. We got to protect our organization. We got to make sure people understand that we are Black and proud.
Bishop Sheard, this is the guy that you brought to the men's conference and that you keep putting up in the church. By the way, he's talking about the presiding bishop when he's talking about writing a letter, and we got to protect the denomination, and we got to make sure people know we're Black and we're proud. He's talking about Bishop Sheard. If I'm not mistaken, Charles was already the assistant pastor to his father, and he really ran the business side. He was very involved in the business side of West Angeles. So West Angeles is a machine, and I don't think Lawrence was really involved like that at that level. I think he was the youth pastor for a long period of time, but he was, or at some period of time, I think he replaced Bishop Benjamin Stevens as youth pastor when Bishop Blake made him a bishop and moved him to, I believe, Missouri. So Lawrence didn't really have any pastoral experience in what would have been really necessary to run West Angeles. He was very much like his father, very much a preacher like his father, which is different than Charles. But Charles was already an assistant pastor, and he and his wife were already in place to do that. So, let me finish this so I can get out of here. Oh, Jesus. Where's this guy come from?
But then in less than a week, y'all smile and say nothing about the fact that Blacks are being told in Washington, D.C. by Black people, not by this Black man. He's a Republican. He's got good sense. But they're told by black Democrats, white liberals, and the likes, that brown equals dumb, because y'all are so you're so much of a Nimrod that you can't go and get an ID card to vote. That's what we're being told. And we don't have anything to say about that. Where is the NAACP? I want to hear from all of these loudmouth Jamal Bryant type preachers. Jamal Bryant had a lot to say about this. Oh, he's upset about it. Many of our black liberal preachers who preach black liberation theology, they were upset about it. All of these entertainers who have sworn an allegiance to a false god, supporting the Divine Nine, they were upset as well. But a few days later, you're being told that you don't have enough common sense to get an ID to go vote, because it's going to disenfranchise black people. And with this next video that I'm getting ready to pull up, let's pull it up side by side. I'm getting ready to show you that this black woman right here, this one right here, she is, someone call Charlemagne and tell him this is the donkey of the day, of the week, of the month, of the year, and of the century. This woman right here is getting ready to talk about soap.
Can you be a travel advisor without quitting your 9 to 5? Actually, yes. We're Fora, the modern travel agency.
Soap. In Spanish, jabón. She's getting ready to talk about soap when talking about voter ID. Watch it.
You just stated that the SAVE Act is an attack on civil rights and is racist. Could you just explain that further? Because 76% of Black Americans support the SAVE Act, according to CNN.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, we find it racist because at the end of the day, it's targeting Black communities with a cost burden. We've been through this historically, right? Where we've been prohibited from voting because
you know what?
we didn't know how many.
Run it back.
We've been prohibited from voting because targeting Black communities with a cost burden.
A cost burden. Man, we can get fingernail extensions. We can get some of the best wigs.
And so this is just a
we get all hot and bothered. There's a word for that. There's nothing bigger than a hypocrite. Watch.
Been through this historically, right? Where we've been prohibited from voting because we didn't know how many bubbles were in a soap bar. And so this is just a
we were prohibited from voting because we didn't know how many bubbles were in a soap bar. Is that what we're doing in 2026? Is that what we're doing? Really? Oh man. I mean, maybe she's thinking about the soap that Don Lemon might drop when he gets arrested and actually again and put in prison. But this is horrible.
Okay, that's all I can take. I'll try. Everybody knows CNN lying. 76% of Black people in favor of none of this. I can promise you that. Mark, he does not know. Maybe this is what happens when what is he now? He just turned 41. He's originally from Nigeria. Maybe that's why you don't really understand. What's going on, Sue Church Girl? Good to see you tonight. Bishop Blake did look good. You had to listen to it because I had to listen to it. So y'all got to hear what I heard so that we understand what we're talking about. I don't know why he was. This is why I'm bringing this to y'all because Bishop Blake. Somebody tag Bishop Blake. Not Bishop Blake. Bishop Sheard. I don't understand it. Raw, I'll tell you in a second. He was at a. Here's why Bishop Sheard missed the funeral. There you go. He was in Detroit doing that. Okay. We'll talk about it in a second. Okay. First of all, blacks in the South were required to answer absurd questions like this. Specifically, how many bubbles are in a bar of soap as part of the discriminatory practices to keep black folk from voting. He doesn't know this. That's not just her saying something. That's somebody who knows. Literacy tests were designed to be discriminatory, and what they would do is they would ask questions that it was impossible for you to know the answers to. How many jars is in this jar? How many jelly beans are in this jar of jelly beans? But of course, unless you counted them, you would not have any way of knowing. The impossible questions were used by the white voting registrars to disenfranchise black people. It wasn't a joke at all. It was that, now we call them clerks, but the registrars or the clerks would question you to decide whether or not they were going to give you a registration so you could vote. And they had been doing this since the passage of the 15th Amendment. So they had been doing this since the 1890s to suppress the black vote. They originally did it because when black folk became freed, because Abraham Lincoln had done it, the majority of blacks almost exclusively voted Republican because the Republican Party was the party of abolitionists. That was a party that wanted to abolish slavery. Misconception that Abraham Lincoln wanted to abolish slavery. He didn't. He just wanted to keep the Union together, which is why he then allowed Confederate statues to be put up in state seats of government as they bring the country back together. The questions weren't meant to be answered ever correctly. They were just a pretext so that they could fail the black voter and not let them vote. And particularly in the 1940s and 50s, a Mississippi Circuit clerk named Luther Cox. Somebody tag Brother John help him. A Mississippi Circuit clerk named Luther Cox, C-O-X, notoriously was known for asking the specific question of how many bubbles are in a bar of soap. Luther Cox was the man's name. It was not a joke. It never is a joke. And the fact that you keep saying that, inadvertently posted a picture of the Obamas as monkeys and apes by somebody not Donald Trump. Even Donald Trump said he posted it. You're not even, it's not just, not only can I not listen to you preach, but I can't believe you because you won't tell the truth. Not even Bishop Wooden went that far. Even Bishop Wooden said, hey, look, take responsibility, apologize, move on. You just doubling down like, I mean, I don't really get it. Perhaps he does not know that what this is all about. Remember, let's go back to Clarence Thomas. Let's go back to Donald Trump, what Donald Trump said last month about the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Movement hurting white people. Somebody help Brother John to understand that the only thing that ended foolishness like how many bubbles are in a bar of soap being asked by Luther Cox in Mississippi as the circuit clerk in charge of voter registration and who could and couldn't vote was the Voting Rights Act of 1965. That's before you're born. That's 20 years before you're born. But for the Voting Rights Act of 1965, number one, you, sir, would not even be in the country. That's number one, as you are from Nigeria. But number two, you would not certainly be able to vote in this country. Because it didn't matter how educated you were. See, this isn't about whether or not black folk are smart or stupid. This is about leveraging to try to stifle the vote. Because if you're not careful, y'all got to hear me tonight, if you're not careful, when they say make America great again, they're not talking about what this man is talking about. When they say make America great again, they're not thinking about him. And for the majority of people who are, they're not thinking about us either. Because when America was great for them, was when we just did what we were told to do and shut up. They are literally, right now, they've got a man in front of Congress that Donald Trump is trying to put in who readily and openly admitted, I was watching the hearing on yesterday, that he indeed is a white nationalist. And he believes that white people are being discriminated against, and that if left up to us, we're destroying white culture. When a white man then asked him, well, what is white culture? He could not answer. But Donald Trump is currently trying to put this man in the seat of power. Right now. This isn't, This isn't, this ain't make-believe. And he says he is not apologizing for anything that he has said, by the way. Let me not, because this is the stuff that, unfortunately, for those who follow Bishop Wooden and his son-in-law, these are the things that they don't tell you about. While they're talking about all of this other stuff, let's talk about this. Because I don't want y'all to ever think I'm just playing with you. Let's get to it. This was yesterday, by the way.
Are victims of a cultural genocide. Where to start? So you'd agree with me, wouldn't you, that whites are pretty well represented in the United States Senate?
They are well represented in this body, yes.
And how about in the House of Representatives?
Senator Kane, I don't have those particular numbers.
But
However,
you would agree that they're pretty well represented in the House of Representatives.
Senator, I would, again, thank you for the question. I would point out that there were no white Protestants by birth in the 25 cabinet members under Joe Biden.
How about in the ranks of American presidents throughout history, including now pretty well represented whites?
Senator.
And how about in the ranks of vice presidents during American history now? Whites pretty well represented in that group, right?
Senator, thank you again for the question.
Yeah. I don't think it's hard. How about on the United States Supreme Court? Throughout our history and including now, whites are pretty well represented on the United States Supreme Court, correct?
I think obviously historically, I would of course agree with you. Of course, the vast majority of Americans were white at that time. It's now a much more diverse society.
Let's focus on right now. How about in the ranks of American governors? You think whites are pretty well represented?
I would just have to look at the numbers. I don't know.
Okay, how about this? In the ranks of CEOs of major corporations today, you think whites are pretty well represented?
Senator, thank you for the question. I suspect that they are probably pretty well represented in that, but there are other areas where they're not as well.
How about in the ranks of high income people?
That was just I'm curious as to why it is never, y'all got a lot to say. A lot to say, sir, in favor of Donald Trump. Maybe I'm missing something. Because you ain't saying nothing about this. You're saying y'all ain't got nothing to say? Nothing at all. You got a full-fledged white nationalist that Donald Trump is trying to put into place, and you got nothing to say at all. This is why y'all gotta be careful just listening to any and everything that somebody might want to tell you, because they got a reason for shooting you this foolishness. Now, in case somebody don't believe that this is what he stands for, let's try it one more time. This actually happened, y'all.
Relevant to your fitness to serve. You already have had some of your statements read to you, but I'd like you to respond to at least a few of them. One of the things you have said is that anti-white discrimination is the most pervasive and politically salient form of racism today. So do you continue to believe that anti-white discrimination is more salient than the discrimination faced today by Blacks, Latinos, Muslims, or other American groups?
Thank you for that question. And thank you also for giving me an opportunity to speak at a little bit of length. I haven't necessarily had much opportunity to respond.
I'm going to have at least one more question for you, so I'll give you a minute or two to respond.
Yes. So thanks to the great work of my friend Harmeet Dillon as the Assistant Attorney General of Civil Rights, I actually think that we've done an incredible job in this administration of getting rid of certain policies that discriminate particularly against white Americans, but also in some cases Asian Americans.
Well, just maybe answer my question. Let's rewind. Because maybe you'll suggest that everything is fine now. Let's rewind a year ago. A year ago, were white Americans the most discriminated against group in the United States? You said it. So
yeah.
Senator,
no, certainly this is my belief. I'm not running away from that. I think that while, of course, all races in different contexts can be subject to really severe discrimination, that when we look at our legal structures, white Americans are often very disfavored in overt ways. We're seeing this in the Small Business Administration, many other places.
So your belief is that white Americans face more discrimination, at least prior to the Trump administration fixing this, than Black Americans?
On average, Senator, yes, that's correct, and I'm not running away from that statement at all.
Y'all, we can't make listen, y'all. I literally cannot make this stuff up. I literally cannot make this stuff up. Wisdom, I'm trying my best to make it plain. I know y'all get sick of me pulling it, but I cannot make this stuff up. It is important to know why in the world we cannot listen to certain people. Oscar says they should don't look around. There's enough white folk that have a KKK rally. I'm talking about a whole rally, now. I'm talking about the only thing missing. It is amazing to me. If y'all get a chance, go and watch this. Donald Trump has nominated this man to be the Assistant Secretary of State. He was, in the first administration, the Secretary of the Interior. This is the person that Bishop Wood and his son says y'all missing it if you're not supporting him. Y'all just heard the man say, I am not bagging off of telling you that white people are the most discriminated against people in the United States of America. And later on, if I had the time to play it, it's about 7-8 minutes. I don't want to do that tonight. The man acknowledges that he is a white nationalist and that used to be okay. And even the Republican senators are like, I can't even believe you sitting in this room. How did he get in here? How did he get here? And what's crazy is the white Republicans sitting in, the senators in that room are more disgusted by this than John Omotoka and Bishop Wood. That's a problem. Bless you, Jeremiah. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming in. So here's the reality. I pulled up the numbers, Felix, and the reality is under the age of 18, right now in the United States of America, 53% of the population under the age of 18 today in this country, which makes up about 50% of the entire population, is minority. 47% is white. That's what this is all about. This isn't about now, this is about the future. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Stephen Miller on this platform yet. But it's again, it's because Jordan, why are you doing it? because y'all got to know that there are some people in this church, in our community, that don't even understand the history. I don't believe Bishop Wooden doesn't understand the history. I don't know what that's all. He need to help. He need to help, dude. He got to, man. It facts just don't matter over there apparently. And again, I'm trying not to, I hate to lump people in together, but when you run together, birds of a feather flock together. But again, how do you lead the largest constituency of African American pastors and elders, over 18,000 black men, in the largest African American denomination in the world, when you don't even stand up for black men? See, the problem ain't being Republican. The problem is not Republican versus Democrat. This is something different. This is something different. This is something different. This is beyond Republican versus Democrat. This is about people. Thank you for your gifts. I see them coming in. Thank you so much for your support. This is about people who absolutely are working against our interests. That's what this is about. And I mean, he made it clear. I played it. He didn't like the fact that the presiding bishop sent a letter out about Donald Trump and the meme about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama's monkeys. He's very upset about that. He didn't like it at all. He thinks something wrong with you, Bishop Sheard. And so I'm curious as to how many times you're going, at what point do you put these, do you say, okay, no, I can't have you here. I can tell you, as for me, there's not a service or a panel or anything that you could have that included him for certain. Probably Bishop Wooden and Locke. Men's department, I just can't do that altogether. I just can't do that. I can't. I've never, I told y'all, I've never done this on this platform before, but I literally just can't support that. I can't support this in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form. Wouldn't show up to a meeting, wouldn't give a dime. I don't want to hear you preach. I don't want to hear you talk. There's nothing you can say to me until you figure out how to first. They used to say it like this. People don't know how much you know until they know how much you care. And until I see that you actually care about black folk, again, this ain't about Republican or Democrat. Sister V from the D, you said it. Nigeria is another. You don't even understand what we do. It's not possible. It's literally impossible. It's literally impossible. Joshua, you right, man. You're right. I'm trying, man. I'm trying not to do it, but you're right. I mean, I can't, I can't be on your foot and tell you that it's raining. It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. We're not, and that is a different subject. But it's a truth. If you didn't grow up black in America, you don't really have a reference point of what it means to be black in I am too. I'm hoping. Cause see, I don't have a problem with the. I know Bishop Wooden is a staunch abortion opponent. I get that. I ain't got no problem with that. But something is wrong. I don't know if he's influencing the son-in-law is influencing him. I don't know if this is just the money. I don't know what this is, but somehow somebody has lost their sense of. I understand. I don't expect the Nigerian to really get it, but Bishop Wooden, a 64-year-old black man in America, been black your whole life, you gotta know this ain't right. Yeah, not supportive. And listen, let me tell you something. I have the utmost respect for Bishop Roderick Hennings. I really do. Like him, I mean, he's one of the smartest guys I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Been around him a few times when he's come out to Texas. Just a super smart, critical thinker. I mean, smart guy. But this right here, this is bigger than any of that because it makes me question what it means. When you look at enemy, what it means to be my enemy. Biblically, that word wasn't about being an adversary, simply an adversary, but it was about someone who was actively working against or supporting my failure. And when you align yourself with people who choose to actively, number one, hope you fail. Y'all remember when Barack Obama became president and Mitch McConnell and the Republicans, the conservatives, because you got to know something. There's a difference between conservatives and Republicans. That's a whole different conversation. When Sean Hannity became a conservative, he said, "I'm leaving the Republican Party to become a conservative." Conservative means something totally different to these guys. And what they did was, y'all remember the Tea Party and all of that stuff. Most of those guys are the conservative, right-wing, boom, 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 Stephen Miller type people. And so what those folk did was they said, okay, well, we can't do it like that. So they start getting their people and running their people as Republicans and taking over the Republican Party, which is why you have a separation within the Republican Party. That's right. They play long ball. They've been playing this for 20 plus years, since 2000, really around 2007 or 8, and then kicked it into gear 2013, 12, 13. They've been playing long ball for a long time. This is not simply what you think you see. Absolutely, great point. The gerrymandering. I mean, what they're trying to do is eliminate the black vote. Don't ever forget how they felt. Why? Ask yourself why. Let me tell you why. Because remember when Joe Biden won, what was the biggest thing you heard? Black women put Joe Biden in the office. There is a reason. And for me, again, it's not simply about Republican or Democrat. I'm not pushing that. What I'm pushing is what's best. I heard Bishop Sheard say it like this. As a black pastor, I got to think about the black people that I lead and what's best for them. Because if I only worry about me, see, that's what bothers me about some people. I can throw some names out here, but every time I do it, then they post about me. The reality of it is, so I don't want to do that. But the reality of it is, y'all, that this isn't just about your pocketbook. First of all, how's that working out? All people say, "Oh, I didn't vote for him for this. I voted for him to be. I didn't vote for him to be the presiding bishop. I voted for him to be for my pocketbook." How's that working out? By the way, you cannot call Black History Month Black History Month anymore, too. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? Let's see if I can find my charger. I got 20 minutes. If we don't wake up, we are going to be, y'all, in some serious trouble. And I'm sharing these things with you because I think it's important that you know what's really going on.
You have made several statements.
Certain type of Christian church and that sort of culture.
Here's how anyone, regardless of skills or experience, can launch a wildly profitable recruitment agency.
Culture, which is very different. Senator, I think the question of identity is something that lots of scholars
I guess you
go
can do a
into.
sermon on identity, but just tell me how you define white identity and what you think is being erased about white identity.
Senator, it would have, thank you again for the question, and genuinely thank you for finally letting me have a chance to explain some of my comments a little bit. But I would say that, they could be things like going to a certain type of Christian church and that sort of culture, which is very different. I mean, you can all be Christians, right, in a certain environment, but African-American Christians might worship differently than Chinese Christians that might worship differently than white Christians. Of course, sometimes you have multi-ethnic churches, but things like that, certain types of Anglo-derived culture that comes from our history.
Like what?
Let me think about this. Senator, I would say if you were to look at the book by one of your former Senate colleagues, Born Fighting, about the sort of Scotch-Irish military culture and certain, pride that went with that, that would be one example. Obviously, you could have sub-elements of that culture. You could have Italians, you could have Irish, and those are in many ways more.
Yeah, but you're worried about white culture. You're not worried about, you're now retreating to ethnic identity. You don't speak about ethnic identity. You speak about white identity. So tell me the values that stitch together white identity and that make it different than Black identity.
Senator, again, thank you.
You spent a lot of time talking about this and writing about this.
Yeah, no.
You're struggling with this, but you should be fairly easily, I would assume, able to tell us your thoughts on how white identity is different than other kinds of identity and how it's being erased.
Senator, again, thank you for the question. I'm just trying to be I'm just trying to be very precise. Because I'm here in front of a Senate committee, I would say that the white church is very different than the Black church in terms of its tone and style on average. Foodways could often be different.
And those
music could be different.
And those are being erased.
Music could be different. Well, if you look at the Super Bowl halftime show, which was not in English this year.
So our ability to access white churches or white food or white music is being erased?
Senator, again, thank you for the question. What I would say is the biggest thing, because actually, contrary to many of the comments that have been shown, racial nationalists have been very, very critical of my work because they correctly say that I'm actually, of course, not a racial nationalist, which I'm not. I'm a civic nationalist. I am concerned with the majority common American culture that we had for some time that through particularly mass immigration, I think has become much more balkanized, and I think that weakens us. And again, I'm not running away from that comment. I'm not apologizing for.
Well, I'm way over my time. I think you're.
Somebody call Brother John, let him know. Once again, y'all saw it here. They don't like us like that. I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about these people. This is who Donald Trump nominated. This is not. By the way, he worked for Donald Trump the first time he was president. So this is somebody that's close to Donald Trump. Somebody let them know that even though you keep going over there to the white church preaching, as long as you're talking about what's wrong with black people, they'll keep letting you in their pulpits. My problem is that I don't want the presiding bishop keep letting them in our pulpits. Fine, if that's what you want to do, go on over there to their pulpit. I ain't got no problem with that. Anybody can do it. But in case you missed it, Brother John, he just said black Christians and white Christians ain't the same. Anybody else heard him say it? Black Christians and white Christians ain't the same. Bishop Sheard, if you want to go back over there to Utah, go on over there. But I just want you to know that, again, they don't believe that black Christians and white Christians are the same. That's why the president, who has since died from the Mormon church, when he came to your church, wouldn't even stand behind your pulpit. You invited him to do it 3 times. He declined all 3 times. At some point, people have to realize these people, they don't see us the same. And that's not please hear me understand this. Please understand this. This is not a black-white thing. This is a white nationalist view of everybody else. I would venture to say that a significant portion of the white population are absolutely delightful people. Absolutely delightful people. And sincere. Please understand, slavery doesn't end without white people. Voting Rights Act doesn't get implemented without white people. None of the things that are happening or have happened over the past 50, 60, 70, 100 years in this country happens without some white people who are not like that. That just doesn't happen. Well, I mean, they invited the other guy, the lieutenant governor, who, by the way, said he just wished, that women would shut up. You don't want women to talk. I mean, it's the oddest thing when people amen these days in church. Absolutely. Lexington, absolutely. No, Hutchinson, he would not. Go back and pull up the video of when the president of the Mormon church went to Bishop Sheard. He never stood behind the podium. Bishop Sheard offered it to him. He didn't. 3 times, which let me know he didn't want to do that. Come on out of here. We need Shane Gray to come back and explain this one. Now, when they get angry, they'll tell you who they are. They'll show you who they are if you ain't careful. I mean, but that's not unlike people in general, right? People in general. That's because most people don't know the difference between prejudice and racism. I think probably the majority of people have some sort of prejudgment in them. We make jokes about it, right? We assume that all Hispanics drive a lot of people in the car, right? That's a prejudice statement. It's not a racist statement, but it's a prejudice statement, right? When you say, oh, Jews are good with money, that's a prejudice statement. It's not a racist statement, but it is a prejudice statement. You're making a judgment, oh, black folk do this or we do that. Or we do. Those are prejudice statements. They're not racist statements. Racism requires one thing that prejudice doesn't have: power. Power. Racists are prejudiced people with power who then use their prejudice to prevent people from being able to do the things that they ought to be able to do. Racism has an element that just regular prejudice doesn't have. That's why black people, it's very hard for us to be racist, because we ain't got no power. You got a power because racism is your prejudice keeping me from doing something, preventing me from doing something. Yeah, well, that's why I brought it up. This is all about the SAVE Act. It's all about the SAVE Act. All of this that's what this is all about. But the SAVE Act is designed ultimately to do away with the Voting Rights Act. If you don't do away with the Voting Rights Act, none of this matters. And again, somebody help Brother John understand. Listen, y'all, I just had to go and renew my driver's license and transfer it at the same time. I walked in thinking it was going to cost me $27. I came back to the counter, he said $85. There you go. Thank you, Lexington. That's it right there. Racism equals prejudice plus power. Thank you, Jeremiah. I'm trying my best tonight, man. But that's the truth. $85 just to get a driver's license. So when you think to say, somebody help Brother John understand this. When you think to say, oh, it's not about money and it is about money. Because once you implement it that you have to have these things, then guess what they do? They just keep raising the price. Until it gets to the point where you are no longer able to afford the ID so you can vote. Absolutely. I learned that Wisdom says Bubba in the pickup truck ain't the biggest problem. The races with power is more. Absolutely. I learned that living in Georgia. The Bubba in the pickup truck, he was prejudiced, but at least I knew where we stood. At least I knew I ain't no problem. Look, I ain't got no problem with somebody not liking me. That don't bother me. The problem was because I was in the real estate and development side of things. It was the person who wouldn't give me the permit downtown that I didn't even know was racist. See, it's not the prejudice that's the problem. It's the racism, it's the power that then allows your prejudice to discriminate against me. That's what Clarence Thomas doesn't understand. Because he used all the levers to get to where he is and then decided to pull the ladder up so nobody else could get there. because they don't know anything. You must understand something. Here's something that you got to understand. And I don't pretend to speak for all African culture, okay? But you must understand something, because I'm the type of person, I sit down and have conversations. And when you go to foreign countries, here's what's dangerous about America. When you go to foreign countries, there are no Black Americans and white Americans. It's just America. You go to a foreign country, they just see you as American. I'm just an American. I'm not a Black American. I'm not a whatever. I'm just an American. And so a lot of what foreigners think about Americans is what they see on movies from like the 70s, 80s, 90s. Television from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Their concept of us is what the media portrays us to be. And so in a lot of places in Africa, they don't see Black missionaries. It's not who they see. The white is right concept is big overseas. That's why they can come to this country and immediately, even though they are not from this country, will look down on us, Black people, who are Americans. Let me, I had to pause for a second because I want to pull it up, exactly what I'm talking about. I wasn't just, let me say this, I wasn't just talking about FAMU, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I was stating about FAMU. In case y'all don't know, there was a Black law student, the Black Law Student Association of FAMU had reported that the university staff flagged the word Black along with phrases affirmative action, women on event flyers, forcing students to abbreviate and rework the text about flyers that were for Black History Month. The reason given, the restriction was allegedly tied to the Florida Senate Bill 266 and Board of Governors regulations, which restrict how state funds are used for diversity, equity, and inclusion programming at public universities. FAMU officials later stated that the prohibition was a staff level error, which of course is what they always do, it's somebody else, okay? And so we understand that that's what they turn around and say. Oh no, this is somebody, remember it wasn't Donald Trump who posted what he posted, even though he said he posted it. It was somebody else who just happened to leave the racist thing up, right? And so what FAMU officially put out was that it was a staff level error and a misrepresentation of state law that, and then they apologized and indicated that they are implementing a better review process. You generally don't apologize for things that you didn't do. They apologized. So again, the context, the incident occurred in a broader nationwide debate of things, but that is actually what happened. They did not walk back that it didn't happen. What they said was that somebody on the staff level is the one. So I love it though. Y'all know I love it when y'all challenge me. Y'all know I love it, right? Y'all do know I love it. I'm faithful. You know how it is over here. I love it when y'all challenge me because it makes me go back and show you that I really did read it. I wasn't just saying it. But you called me. I throw stuff out so quick. Sometimes people don't know where I'm pulling it from because there's a bunch of things that'll be up there. So I'll have 100 things in my mind, and when it pops in, then I'll remember to mention it because I intended to. But yeah, they did try to correct that, but they're even in their correction, they acknowledged that yes, somebody in leadership said it. It just wasn't official. And so we apologize for being said at all. And we shouldn't have done that. The FAMU president is Maxwell. Well, she's definitely I try to do that research. I try. See, I had my notes. I just had to go to them. She is definitely a Ron DeSantis supporter for sure. And it's it get kind of messy when you talk about Ron DeSantis versus Donald Trump because they really don't click. That's really not MAGA and Ron DeSantis really ain't on the same page in real life, but they are two sides of the same coin of white supremacy and white nationalism. So you get a lot of people buck dancing and doing a whole lot of things just to get wherever they need to get to. Ultimately, the reason I brought that up, though, and now let me say why I brought it up. I brought it up because it all goes to what Stephen Miller and Project 25 and Donald Trump ultimately want to do, which is to kind of whitewash history. I mean, ain't no kind of to it. That's what they want to do. They want to stop talking about it. That's why if he has his way, he'll just get rid of the African American Museum of History. If they have their way, they just will just make history whatever it is that they want to make it. These are the same people who brought to you and said to you that slavery was a good thing. By the way, and I'm not even going to show it tonight because I don't feel like going through it. By the way, Ron DeSantis said, while y'all talk about this, Ron DeSantis said, and had them put it in the books in Florida, that slavery was a good thing because slaves learned trades that they would never learn before otherwise, other than slavery, and so that was a good thing. Do you know who came back and said he was right? And said that slaves learned a lot of trades that they would never learn, and black people wouldn't be in the position that they are if we didn't learn what we learned in slavery? Bishop Patrick Woody came back and doubled down on that. I can't make it up, y'all. I can't. I wish I could make it up. I wish I could be making this stuff up. And that was before the presiding bishop put him over the men's ministry. That was before he put him over the men's ministry. Of the Church of God in Christ. I wish that I could be making this stuff up. But I can't. He also said Juneteenth shouldn't be celebrated in y'all be thinking I be joking about this stuff. It really is. It's a whole thing just to keep up with stuff that he be saying. I wish y'all that I could make some of this stuff up. I really can't. And I didn't put it out, by the way. I didn't do that. This is stuff Bishop Wooden puts out on his own. So anyway, he really did. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because I don't want to leave here with anybody gonna say, oh, he said that, because you know they all have people, right? And I don't want anybody to think I said it, because I didn't say it. And then I'm getting out of here. Yeah, Bishop is definitely in the news. He is definitely big news. It's a shame.
Hey, Patrick here from Rock Financial. Ever wonder how you can break away from your traditional 9-to-5 and earn?
We don't talk about that right now. I'm going back to this. Praise the Lord. White folk couldn't manufacture slaves to sell.
No, sir. Deal with that. Oh, my.
Let that sink in. Oh, they're going to walk out on me today. We know you're going to walk out. Look at you grabbing your purse now. I see you. Getting on. All of a sudden, that padded pew is getting too hard. I understand. Truth is a hard thing, but it's bad. It's bad. You know, they went over and they caught us, bought us, and brought us over here on ships. That's true. But you ain't gonna say nothing about who sold us? I mean, who's the boss? The buyer or the seller? And how did we find out way over here that they had slaves to sell? Way down in Africa. West Africa. West Africa. Anyway, so once we were freed, they came up with this project. Saying, what does that have to do with the Bible? I'm going to teach you to love your enemies and how we should behave. They came up with this thing and they started a eugenics project. And you know what they did? You know, Margaret Sanger, the founder of it, she called black folk human weed. Human weed. Human weed. She didn't think that we were worthy of reproducing. So they came up with a way, because, you know, black folk back then, oh man, we had families. 13, 14 kids in the house, 30, I mean, just children. Having big families. Black folk were doing good. And so they come up with this birth control pill. The funniest thing happened.
Now he's going to take everybody on this road down Windery Lane to get back there. That's why I say hold on, make y'all watch it. But listen, I don't want Bishop Wooden to stop preaching. He's got an audience to preach to. He's got people to preach to, and I don't want him to. I believe, I'm going to say this one more time. I don't have a problem with Bishop Wooden because I believe Bishop Wooden everything he says he believes. I just believe it. And you cannot knock a man for believing what he believes. However, I think this is all disqualifying things to lead black men where you will not go. I don't want to put everything on Bishop that his son-in-law says and or does. However, I do believe that they work together because I know they do. And I don't know if he just needs to take it's an education of understanding what it means to be. It's different to be when you say, I've been a black man my whole life. You've been a black Nigerian man your whole life. And even in this country, white people view that as different. There's no way around it. They view it as different. It's just no way around. I wish there was a way around it, but there is no way around it. They view it as different. Oftentimes they view Nigerians as more educated or a number of other things, harder workers than black men. We get all the stereotypes. Look at what Joe Biden said about the Hispanics and how they're harder workers than black. I mean, it's just a misconception all the way around. It's not that other races are harder workers. We slaved. We did that for 400 years. And then were held back for another 100 after that. There's just places that black people ain't going back to. And I don't care how many people say we ought to do. No, there's some places we're just not going back to. I'll do that. I will do that. I mean, he's been talking about abortion and things like that, since, 80s, 90s. That's not my problem. It's not standing up for what's in the best interest of all of us. And so I've held you all much longer than I intended to tonight. Again, if you feel it not robbery to support the platform, $3, $7, $15, $25, whatever you want to do tonight, it would be greatly appreciated. That would be greatly appreciated. We still have over 100 people on right now, and so we appreciate you tuning in tonight. Again, if you do want those, this is our fundraising month, and so we're doing it all month long. If you would like to, and you give it a level of $50 or $100, then you'll be able to get a complimentary trip from our sponsor, which is Total Health and Life Insurance Group. They don't have to spend their money with us, but we appreciate that they do. If you need health or life insurance, give them a call, reach out to them. And if they can't, they can certainly give you some advice as to what's best to do. Sometimes it takes you may have to text or leave a message. They're always in the office, but it's a very busy company. And so I had one person call me or reached out to me, Bishop, it took them 2 or 3 days to get back to me with a quote. Well, quotes are those illustrations require some time to do. Yeah, I don't think anyone should vote because you're black. I did not watch the AIM Crusade in Baltimore. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna go back and take a look at it. I didn't watch it because I was traveling. I was busy. Let me say this: voting. I think that's a misnomer of a statement. I will no longer be voting just because they're black. I think the reality is there are not a lot of black people running. I think again, when I hear people say, "Oh, I'm not just voting because they're black," well, tell me how many black people are running. We have one black senator in the entire Senate. One black senator. One. We don't have, a million. In 2025, we hit a record number of blacks in Congress. Do you know what that number is? Out of over 500 Congress people? 67. Across the entire country, 67. So most of you who are watching me have never voted for someone because they're black, because you've never had an opportunity to vote for anybody because they were black. If they're black, it's probably because they're from a majority black district, which is why gerrymandering matters so much, because when they change the maps and a majority black district is no longer majority black because they pull from over here in the suburbs somewhere, and your voice is gone completely, then what shall we say? I'm not voting for somebody because they're black. Most of you watching have never had an opportunity to vote for somebody black. You don't live in that type of place. If you black living in the suburbs, you've never voted for anybody because they were black, because you didn't have anybody black running. I would have never voted for Kamala Harris because she was black. As a matter of fact, didn't really want to vote for her at all, to tell you the truth. Just based on her record as Attorney General in California. That was enough for me. Just being honest with you. Just being honest. But the question was Kamala Harris, not or Donald Trump. Kamala Harris or a majority white supremacist Supreme Court. It was Kamala Harris or Stephen Miller. It was Kamala Harris or Jeremy Carl, who I just showed you, testified just yesterday before Congress that he is absolutely a white nationalist and does not apologize for anything that he feels and or believes that he as a white man is the most discriminated against group in all of America. Because we're no longer a country acting as cultural customary, which simply means white. I always respond. Having a black president for 8 years didn't change those two things that I talked about earlier. Prejudice and racism. That didn't change. Any more than it changed when Tiger Woods won the Masters for the first time. And Fuzzy Zoe came out and said, well, I hope we don't have to have fried chicken. See, that was prejudice. It wasn't racist. Because he couldn't stop Tiger Woods from being Tiger Woods. It was definitely where America still is today. But it is interesting to me that you could say it's a shame that we're having this conversation after 8 years of black president. It's a shame that somebody is sitting before Congress right now trying to become the Assistant Secretary of State, put up there by Donald Trump, who was the Secretary of the Interior under the first Trump, who's now sitting here in 2026 saying that not only is he a white nationalist, but he will not apologize for it, and believes everything that he's saying. See, the question is which one I'm trying to figure out are you having a problem with? Are you having a problem with black people having this conversation? Or are you having a problem that black people still have to have this conversation? See, those are the questions that I ask when it comes to, I don't care if you're talking about Bishop Wooden, if you're talking about his son-in-law, you're talking about anybody else, or you're talking about Donald Trump or anybody. The shame is that we have to have this conversation still in 2026. The shame, you saw the white senator saying, they were laughing at him. What do you mean white culture is being, where's the problem? It's a shame when you're talking about voting and saying that there is a problem. He was, by the way, quoting someone from here in Texas called Wes Morgan, who said, oh, we just found thousands of illegal people voting. That was a lie. They didn't. There was 2,784 people that they said might be, potentially could be, foreigners who were registered to vote. The number actually came out to be 33 people that they referred to the Attorney General's office here in Texas out of 18 million people. Out of 18 million. No, Kamala Harris would have never done 90% of what, I don't think she would have done anything that President Trump is currently doing. The funding for school lunches, the funding for pre-K, the funding for daycares, where especially a lot of black churches, their daycares are closed or never open just because that money is not there. Federal workers, North Carolina has lost billions of dollars. What Bishop Wooden is, billions of dollars, thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs. Car companies, they didn't move their manufacturing back over here because they were over here building electric vehicles, by the way, most of which were in North and South Carolina. They lost all that money. North Carolina by itself lost $9 billion in education funds. Would anybody in their right mind do what he's done? Absolutely not. No. It's a shame. I hope the statement isn't true that black people with money don't care about history. I hope that's not true. It does seem to be that way, though. It does seem to be that way. Smoothie said, seems like our recent president choice has been choosing the lesser 2 years. I agree. I mean, I can't even say that. I don't know if Kamala Harris was good or bad. I don't know. I didn't like some things that I knew about her as an attorney general of California, particularly that there was a few young black men that she sent to prison for life who were not guilty. They were later exonerated, and she never apologized for it. That was a problem for me. That was a problem, among some other things. But that was a major problem. Lexington makes an absolutely great point. It is, Lexington, it always bothers me when people have such a problem with, oh, you had Barack Obama for 8 years. We 242 years. This is our 250th year. 242 of those years have been white presidents. Why are you mad about 8 years? Why? What makes you think that the world changed because a biracial black man got into office? The blackest thing about Barack Obama was his wife, to tell you the truth. But why y'all mad? Y'all should be satisfied. 8 years, and we still only have one black in the Senate, and that's Tim Scott. And by the way, he was appointed to that position. He was appointed to that position by Governor Haley, who he then turned on to support Donald Trump because he thought Donald Trump was going to make him his running mate, which of course he should know that would never happen. Make the note. First black president. First time you ever heard a Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, stand up in the Senate and say, I'm going to block everything he does, and I hope he fails. You ain't never heard that said about a president ever in life. Ever in life. You never heard that before, ever. But did President Obama do a lot to help black people? No, not really. Not really. I thought it would have his second term. I was like a lot of black people and said, man, okay, well, first 4 years, he's got to get through that. But that second 4, no, not really. Not really. A lot of civil rights cases came up under him that he never even tried to prosecute. I think at the end of the day, y'all, we have to just be honest about what we're seeing and what we see going on. I'm praying for our church and praying for our leadership. Like I said, I thought it was very, very good to hear Bishop Sheard on the call this week. I'm grateful to let you all know that we are often invited to the same rooms, and we don't have to be on anybody's coattail to get into those rooms. We're invited on our own merit. I was first in those rooms back in maybe 2013 or 2014 when I was invited to come to the union. Jamal Bryan, Bishop Mill Ellis actually invited me to go with him and Jamal Bryan, a lot of other people, some other bishops and leaders, faith leaders in the country. I get weekly updates from the White House, even today. Still on some panels left over from the last administration. These are things that are real. So it's they're very close to my heart. I see it, but I'm never forgetting who we are. And I'm hoping, I hope that our presiding bishop can see what we need to see. I think he's going in, and hopefully he'll go in the right direction. We're going to be very praying for Bishop Wood. I just don't believe that. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for popping in tonight. Again, if you want to do the trips, I think it's Atlanta, Puerto Rico, and all of that. The other thing that I did do is for those who gave $100 but did not want to go to Mexico or to a foreign country, we just went ahead and gave them 2 trips instead of 1. So we did do that for those. So if you want to donate at that $50 or that $100 level and you want to go somewhere, then let us know. Send me an email with your name and your email. Make sure you do it with your name and your email, because other than that, we won't know where you want to go. And tell us where you want to go. Tell us where you want to go. If you want to be a sponsor, you can always send us an email as well, and we'd be happy to talk to you about what it means to sponsor the He Show. We don't take everybody. Turn down a lot because we want to be able to make sure that we're always able to stay where we need to stay. But yeah, if you want to do that, I saw the question earlier, then yeah, just make sure you send us an email to heshow.comments@gmail.com and let us know where you want to go. Or in the memo of your gift, of your donation, just put where it is that you want to go and your email address, because they have to have that. We send this over to our sponsor, and then the sponsor, which is Total Health. And like, you never have to go to a timeshare presentation. You never have to go to any kind of presentations. The insurance company isn't going to call you 50 times. They're not even going to call you one time. They're not going to email you one time. They're not going to offer to sell you anything. This is just how they support our platform that gives us an opportunity. Because for me, I didn't just want people to donate or ever to do something like that without giving back to you. I just believe that that's the right thing to do in exchange. I want to share one other thing with you tonight. Pastor Michael Lampkin, which is one of COGIC'S own. Hey, what's going on, Jalen? Good to see you. West Angeles in the building. LA is in the building. Good to see you tonight, man. I wish I could have got out there. I missed my flight and opportunity to get out there, but you know, we'll see what it is that was said. Let me see. Okay, I made mad by Kamala tonight. Kamala Harris was faithful. Kamala Harris was tough on hard crime committed by either black or white. It was proven that if you look up her record, she did not lock up mostly black. She admitted many times that that was a false one. I didn't say she locked up a lot of blacks. I didn't say she locked up a lot of blacks. No update as of yet. I'm hoping to get one next week. Didn't say she locked up a lot of blacks. I said she locked up some black, at least one that I know of, that was later exonerated, and she never apologized for it. That actually happened. But I love it when y'all check me. I do. Y'all know I love it. See, people don't realize that. Faithful wisdom, people do not understand that I love it when you check me, because it causes me to go back and make sure I'm on point with it. Only name I have so far is Chairman Lemuel Lucid. That's the only name I have so far. I do have some names of a couple of people that wanted to run. I don't know if they got in. Yeah, I don't know if they got in. Let me share one more thing with you. Shout out to Big Nate Bean, a wonderful guy. Got a new project out, and he's featuring a couple of people. Antoine Cooks, who I just saw not too long ago, and Pastor Michael Lampkin of the Church of God in Christ. And so I wanted to share that with y'all, because I told you I was going to start sharing some things. I got another person I want to share with you next week, if not Sunday, then probably next Friday, one of our subscribers, Sister Shelton. And I'm going to share that with y'all on next week. She's got a project out too. You think so? You think so about Bishop Dillon? Y'all think so? That would be interesting. I don't think he would do that. He's too close to being presiding bishop. Check out Pastor Michael Lampkin, and then I'm gonna come right back.
You have the power to conquer anything. Oh, you have the power to face your tomorrow. Oh, you have the power to change your situation. Ooh, you have the power to live and die. 'Cause sometimes life will weigh you down. But remember, he's always around. Oh, he cares for you. You. He you can conquer anything. I promise you that you can face every last one of your. Then you came and mended my heart back together again. You covered. Anybody got some testimony? Can you lift your hand and say, Lord, you did it? I know I don't deserve it. I know I don't deserve it. But you did it all. Oh, you did it. Hey, you washed away my sin. You gave me a fresh start. Yes, you did. The old church said, when I think of the goodness of Jesus, and all that does for me, oh, I'm so glad. Hallelujah.
That would be Brother Nate Bean and Forgiving. Y'all go check them out. Of course, we own none of the copyrights to that, and all rights belong to him and his wife. But that's a great project. It's got a lot of people on that project, and of course, we know Pastor Michael Lampkin is COGIC'S own, and so y'all go and support the project. It's a great project. Got some good church music. So pastors, ministers of music, y'all check it out. It's got some great Sunday morning music on there. I do believe that Bishop Diller has a lot of support. Again, just depends on who will be the chairman and then whether or not they'll follow the Constitution. Follow the Constitution, 2028 will look a lot different than it does right now. I'd be interested to know what he believes he's going to bring different to the church. I think all of them. Somehow the current presiding bishop has managed to remain without really giving us any direction as to what he's ultimately trying to accomplish or where he's trying to take the church. So I think Bishop Hankerson has equally a good chance. If he gets the right people around him, that'll be tough. Yeah, it'll be tough. It'll be. I think Bishop Dillard has proven to be a successful administrator, running AIM successfully, and he's liked, and he's a great preacher, and he's got a good church, and has built his ministry. Bishop Hankerson, I think, has successfully built a jurisdiction, so it shows that he's able to attract not only within the church but from outside the church. And I think the last person who we could say did that was Bishop G. Patterson. Not putting him on Bishop Patterson's level, but I think that's the last person that probably had that ability. And I think Bishop Hankerson has the ability. I think if put in a position, I think he's savvy enough. I think he's smart enough. I think he knows how to build a team around him as well to become that. I think Bishop Dillard would do the same thing. Yeah, the only way that somebody else doesn't get in my honest opinion, is if they don't have a vote. If they do that vote by acclamation thing where they just don't have a vote and the delegates allow it, then, you know, again, that all depends on who's sitting in that chair. But, and that's not a knock at Bishop Sheard, it's just a belief that he's never been a strong vote getter. Not to say they can't, but he just hasn't been. So I think that will play out in the time that it's designed to play out. But we'll see what happens. Leadership, somebody asked me about Arkansas. Not sure. I may be there next week. 16th and 19th. I have to check my schedule and see what I got going on. But I think it's Monday through Wednesday still. So if I do, it will probably be Tuesday or Wednesday. I won't be there on Monday, but I may come in either Tuesday or Wednesday night. So y'all pray for me. We'll see how things go. I'll see y'all on Sunday. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. It was a great show. Enjoyed the conversation. We'll be talking about something else on Sunday, I'm positive. Will y'all pray for me as I pray for you all? And sit around and we'll watch God change things together. Did you see the AIM service in Baltimore? I did not see the AIM service in Baltimore. I did not. I am going to go watch it, Sister Tina. I promise you, because I've been asked more than once. I don't know if he'll easily give it up that easy, but we'll see. It just depends. We'll also have to see what happens in General Assembly with these term limits, and if that gets on the agenda and then actually gets put up as an amendment, which by 2028 it would then be passed. And if so, we just got to keep an eye on some of these things. There's some things that are moving, and so we just have to see how they all move together. Yeah, thank you, Sister Carly. Appreciate it. Yeah, Sister Lady Karen. It's a lot of things that we have to consider. There's a lot of things that we have to consider before we will know. 2028 is a long ways away, and so we just have to kind of see where it goes, y'all. I enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. We'll be talking about something else on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to it. For those who did reach out to me, yes, I saw the stuff about Todd Hall. Chose not to talk about it, and we're gonna be praying for Todd Hall. Don't know. Don't know. That's the best I can say. I just don't know. But thank you again for those who so. Thank you for your seeds that you will sow. For those who didn't do, thank you. Do I like the decision to go back to St. Louis? Absolutely not. I never want to go to St. Louis in the first place. I thought and I said this to the bishops back when Bishop Blake initially brought this up, there was a group of us that he was talking to, and my position was, if you indeed want to take the convocation out of Memphis, I thought number one should have been voted on. Number two, I thought the city choices should have included Atlanta, which I would have chose first, just because it just checks off all the boxes in terms of transportation, location, hotel accommodations, all of that. I thought Atlanta was a much better option, but was not opposed to any other city, but St. Louis just wasn't there. It's very comfortable. It's a hard place to go. And so we'll be praying for Bishop Winans as well. Bishop Daryl Hines is there now overseeing his church. Bishop Sheard was not still. He was at a political something in Michigan. So anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for all of your support and all of your support and help. We appreciate it. And Heavenly Father, I come before you today full heart. God, we're thanking you for just being God. Countless blessings, your unmerited favor. God, we thank you because you are God. And we thank you because everything we have through life that we see. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't woke up this morning. If it's not for you, we won't wake up tomorrow. God, we pray that you give us strength. God, we pray that you give us grace. We pray that you give us mercy. We pray that you give us life and sustain ever the deeper. God, we thank you for our family. We thank you for our communities that lift us, to make us better. We thank you for meeting every need. God, we thank you for the lessons that you give us. We thank you for growing. We thank you for expanding us. We thank you for your granted faith. We thank you for that you're always mindful. You're always kind. God, we thank you that you're always loving to us. God, we thank you for full-hearted gratitude and praise. We thank you because you keep on doing great things with even without trying. Because you're just that. And so God, we pray now as we prepare to get out of here for tonight, that God, you will protect every family represented, every home represented. God, that you will heal where healing needs to be healed. You will deliver where deliverance needs to take place. We command now, and receive everything good that it is that you have for us. For your word declares that you have thoughts of good and not of evil towards us. And so, God, we thank you because you're always mindful of good things for us. Release every financial blessing that you does even before we ask. So God, we release now and pray to his favor and finances. That you strength. A week. God, we ever so praise you. As we pray now for the leadership of our church, pray for the leadership of our country. But God, if you lead, you guide, then all will be well. We know that you're willing to do exceedingly abundantly all that you do. Now to him who is able to keep you control, and let's talk. The presence of your glory with exceeding joy. The only wise God and Savior. Be glory and majesty, dominion and power both now and forever. And God, we will continue to trust you for everything and doubt you for absolutely nothing. In Jesus' name, we call it so. Amen and amen. I promise you, y'all, Sunday I'm gonna be shaking. I'll be back. Man, I've been traveling 1,500 miles this week. Y'all pray for me. All right? God bless y'all. Thank y'all.